Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the Web Collection Show. We hope we can present you the best of what we can from the web and here and there. As usual, I would like to welcome my colleagues here in the studio, Engineer Farah Al Ali. Farah, how are you?
I'm great, and how are you doing tonight?
Thank you very much. Happy to be with you also. What have you got for us tonight?
Tonight, I'll be talking about the latest technology, innovative ideas, and a poem all about life.
Ho, 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 ho. A poem? I think one day you will see me saying some poems. Yes, it comes out of my heart. I would like to welcome also my other colleague who is sitting on my left hand side, Dr. Amna Al-Kud. Dr. Amna, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
What have you got for us tonight?
Tonight I would like to describe some of the important diseases such as sickle cell disease. I have some quotes also, and for my lovely kids, some of the collection of kids application.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amna. So, our dear viewers, let us make a start. As usual, with the big smile and the positive energy after the break. Hello, our dear viewers. Let us go straight to the personality development. Shaking hands is a very important act. Sometimes this shows a lot of things. If you shake others people's hand, if there is in the business meeting, your friends, your family, it means a lot. And how do we do it? By the way, we just shake hand like this. Take your hand, put your hand. Well, this is how we are going to talk about tonight. Let us see what I have. So what your handshake says about you, you can see this. Now we are moving a little bit, but this is something like GIF. 7 super revealing things your handshake says about you. Wallah, this is very important. So everyone has a heard of the phrase, a picture speaks 1,000 words. However, that people may be unaware of that idea. Handshake does as well. This speaks for 1,000 words. A handshake is the unspoken word that initiates a conversation in almost any social professional get together. This form of introduction can make or break the tone of your environment. Ho, ho, ho. Make or break. Well, it depends how you shake other people's hands. According to the study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Well, this is a very important reference. Personality and social psychology. Everyone should pay close attention to their handshake. People are making judgments and basing their initial opinions of you of this small but formidable gesture. This is very important for us. The goal here is to make this a quick and easy gesture your best friend and secret weapon. Ho, 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 ho. We are talking about secret weapons. Is that so? Wow. This is how you shake hands with others. Like the tail of these are a lot of things. Quite honestly, I don't want to spend time on this, but this is very important. The lymph nodule of your handshake can be mistaken as a light grace. You might be exposing a weak inner being. Wow, this is something of psychology, perhaps. In fact, many employers and business associates will see this as a sign that you lack confidence and ability in what you do. So shake hand is very important. The bone crusher, don't bone crusher. Take it easy. I remember when I used to shake hands with somebody, really. I don't know why he wants to break my bones. And he's powerful guy, yes. But whenever he shake my hand, I'm worried. What was going to be happening to my hands, bones.
So it has to be something in between, not too light, not too strong.
Exactly, not too light, not too strong. And to take it lightly and to see the person in front of you, and they might misunderstand your actor if he is going to bone crusher. Just be careful with this guy. You see, this is the muscles here. You see this guy with the muscles, yes? He is crushing the lingerer. Though you have reached out with a good firm grip but forget to let go. You keep shaking hands for ever and ever. Well, it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. You forget yourself sometimes. You keep your hands on. Well, this is something. This is something. 2 seconds rule. Always 2 seconds rule of the handshake. Well, you can make them 3 or perhaps 4. It depends. And let go before it is too late, because this is something important. Varashar, these are making it very fast. How does it make you feel when you speak to someone and they completely brush you off? That is a very comparable to an abruptly short handshake. It is not only rude, but it will evoke the sense that you don't care and do not have time for this person. Well, this is very important. The look away. These are the things. The perfect handshake: keep good posture, make eye contact, hold your right hand out, give a good firm shake, follow the 2 seconds rule, smile, greet the other person and repeat their names. Well, these are the basic rules how to do handshaking. Always smile as you are watching this show. Please, you can draw this good smile in your good looking faces. Our dear viewers, now we are moving to another part of the show, that is the technology. Please stay tuned after the break with the big smile and the positive energy. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the web collection. We go straight to Engineer Farah to tell us all about the new technology trends. Farah, the floor is yours.
Yes, the first gadget that I have for tonight is all about different passwords, because we always say make sure that your password is not repeated, because if someone hacks one of your emails or your accounts, say in social media or any sort of website, then they could get access to all the different accounts. Now I have a key, an access key to everything, to your phone, to your different accounts, to your house, to your car keys. So let's see, it's called Every Key. And as you can see here, it's a small piece of gadget that you have to have next to you and next to the gadget itself in order for it to open automatically. And as soon as it's there, it would open automatically, and as soon as you leave the certain gadget and the key itself with you, it would automatically lock, indicating that you are not next to either your phone, so the phone would lock immediately as soon as you move away. And as you can see here, there are 2 different people. One has the old tradition, which is a list of all the different passwords, and of course the e-key, which is Every Key, has unlock to automatic website logins, to even your home door and even your car. So you'd be able to open any sort of lock that you have and you wouldn't have to worry about it. So the door would unlock immediately. And it's very interesting because you have the ability to do a lot. And it's called Every Key, EK. And what's interesting is that the second one that I have for tonight is another new invention, and it's very interesting because you'd be able to charge, it's a cable, it's a magic cable actually, where you'd be able to have a wire from your phone or your gadget, and as you can see the magic cable, and you'd automatically charge another phone as well at the same time. So if you have 2 smartphones and you want to, one has more battery than the other and you want the other one to live more, so you'd be able to charge it through using this phone. And as you can see, it has different cables for all the different type of phones, whether it's small, so you could see that it's for everything, basically the iPad, the earphones as well. And we'll see it to test, because as you can see here, you'd be able to charge from one phone to the other, and it's really amazing. And at the same time, you'd be able to charge your phone wherever you are and with other people as well. So it's very interesting. And as for number 3, which is really interesting, is this nano drone, which is able to capture every single moment, whether it's videos or the live streaming of videos that you want, or even images and pictures that you'd be able to take. So let's say you're on vacation and you're at a really great place and you'd like to take the whole image, and the pixels are very great because it's 15 megapixel for the camera. So you'd be able to capture all the different moments, and of course it flies as well. So it's very interesting, and you'd be able to capture all the different moments that you have throughout the place you're at. So it's very interesting, I've got to say. And here are just different things, the hovering, stability, and it's called Onago Fly. And it's really interesting because you could see the making here. It has 360-degree infrared, and the pillars are very great. The pixels of the camera quality is very, very strong. It's able to detect humans, like where they are and who to follow as well. So you'd know, like it would know where and what to capture. Over here, a lot of people like to create those different like games, and you'd be able to do this simply by capturing the type that you want. So as you can see here, you'd be able to customize your own. As we're seeing right now, you'd be able to pick up exactly what you want and try to make it in order for you to play different games. And here we're seeing a different type as well, and it looks really interesting because you'd be able to make it yourself. You don't have to have a lot of background about this, but you'd be able to do it and play around with your friends, with your family. It could be like a certain torch, or the game itself, like similar to the ones from Star Wars, as you can see here. So it's very interesting, very simple, and you'd be able to customize it yourself. Yes.
Oh,
So
very
this
nice.
is-
What
yeah.
those sticks are
Yes.
shiny things. They are playing for them.
Yeah. Yes. So there you go. Those are some of the new gadgets and
Yes,
new
very nice,
inventions
very
that are
nice.
out there right now.
Well, the access key is very interesting one also. Thank you very much, Farah. Let us move now to another part of the show, that is kids. Please stay tuned after the break with the big smile and the positive energy. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the Web Collection Show. Let us go to the kids segment of the show, as usual, with Dr. Amna. Dr. Amna, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Today I would like to share with our viewers a mixture of collection of kids application between fun, education, and even before sleep application. I will go directly to my first application, which is called the Ladybug Z and Slippy the Snail Adventure. This application is an introduction to two truly remarkable storybook applications whose stories are taking place in insect kingdom. They talking about the ladybug and the Slippy the Snail Adventure. Both are developed and available for iPad and iPhone for a real nice price. This application actually is a big fan of interactive storybooks application, not only one page with text that follow the next, but also the pages where little games have been integrated into the story. So it is very helpful for the children and even the parents, where occasional help of the children to solve problems during such application. And it's example for such application in order for a little, for example, feature to reach the other side of a creek, kids will need to lay on her stone through the water. So it's a bit of fun and game, and also for education. My second application for tonight is called the Key Guest. This application is purposely for primary school kids, because this feature simply developed fantastic and specifically entertaining education math application that kids might love. Most of our children, they don't like the math, or we have a lot of people or a lot of children, they don't like the math and have difficulty in even to know how to do some calculations. So this application might help them, and it's suitable for kids who are now in elementary schools and are available for iPads.
Very
and
interesting.
Yes, iPads and iPhone. This application also has different levels. For example, there is a level exit which is indicated as a golden key, where children they can reach to, and some time will pass because the levels are, for example, huge and a lot of things to be done by the kids itself. To switch for other, to get, for example, a laser beam and collect many gold suns or diamonds. So they need to solve many arithmetical problems.
Very nice.
Yes.
For mathematics.
Yes. My last application, before they can go to sleep, our lovely kids can do such application. Again, we'll go back to our turtle at the bedtime stories.
Turtle, very nice.
Yes, as usual, our examples also with the turtles. This application with the first appearance last year, it is really an endless runner application called the Run Children. Now, this feature again came back with a new storybook application series. Start off with the bedtime stories, the golden trophy that is aimed at children who are at kindergarten and preschool age. Before sleep, as you can see here in this photo, the turtle, the little turtle, was sleeping and slowly, surprisingly won the race against the fast hare and was allowed to take a golden trophy home with him. And then later somebody has stolen the gift, and then the children can go through the whole story with the fun, and before getting to sleep they can dream of such turtle with fun and happy. So tonight it was a great collection for kids with fun, education, and before sleep application.
Well, I like this storyteller turtle.
Yes.
Because it gives the kids a good story to get them to bed and sleep, because they always like hearing these
Yes,
stories.
bedtime stories are a must for kids.
It is a must for kids. But many parents don't like to be storytellers. Either they don't have this nice imagination, or they don't read books, or they are busy. So I think this applications is very important, and be careful not to put those technologies near the head of those kids because it might affect them. Anyway, let us go to another part of the show. Thank you very much, Dr. Amna.
Most welcome.
Let us go to another part of the show, that is the social media. Please stay tuned after the break with the big smile and the positive energy. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the Web Collection show. Let us go straight to my monitor to see what I have got for you for tonight for the social media. Social media. Anyone without a social media account nowadays? Well, this is almost impossible. 4 ways to crack a Facebook password and how to protect yourself from them. We don't teach people how to crack. We want to teach them how to protect themselves. But it is easy nowadays with some software, so we are just telling you and alerting you that be careful. Despite the security concerns that have a lot of people are suffering from it, but still we share our lives on Facebook, we share our birthdays and our anniversaries, we share our vacation plans and locations, we share everything on Facebook and social media. So we have nothing secret. We are telling everybody where we are now at this point of time, so we can tell. Well, part of this introduction to this is going to be very easy for people. But we sometimes forget who is watching us. Who is watching us? Well, this is a question. We use Facebook as a tool to connect, but there are those people who use that connectivity for malicious purposes. We reveal what others can use against us. We reveal our privacy, our locations, our times, our schedules. So our homes sometimes are empty, free, and we don't know. So we are telling others how to attack us, whether on the electronic side or the physical one. so they know the answers to our security questions. People can practically steal our identities. Yes, they do this sometimes on Facebook and other. And of course, and that's just what with the invisible information we purposely give away through our public Facebook profiles. Be careful about those profiles, huh? Not to put everything. The scariest part of that we get, well, more comfortable with advances in technology, we actually become more susceptible to hacking. Hackers nowadays are very smart, very clever. They do a lot of things they can do to our social media networks and accounts. As if we haven't already done enough, hackers and their guest for our data by sharing publicly those in the where they know the emails, Facebook accounts to steal everything other than, of course, some part of the accounts which we are can protect. In fact, you don't even have to be a professional hacker to get into someone's Facebook's account. So there are some, of course, there are here, there, and there. Of course, use a key logger. This is a software, a key logger. This is called it. And every strike you do, it reports, and then you can download this key logger and you can find it. This is free. This is free. You can go to CNET, has a free key logger, free, which as a little, the title suggests, it's free. If this isn't what you are looking for, you can search for other free key loggers or pay for one. Well, these are, you can see in this CNET how many of them, so much of them. Well, this is part of the cracking system you have to do to be careful, because when you have this in your laptop or in your mobile, well, every thing you do, then it is reported. It gives a report to all the activities to the hacker. Just be careful. Our dear viewers, let us move now to another part of the show, that is innovation. Please stay tuned after the break with the big smile and the positive energy. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the Web Collection Show. Let us go straight to Engineer Farah to tell us all about the innovations. Farah, the floor is yours.
Yes, nowadays everyone likes their covers, their phone covers,
Yes.
especially the iPhone.
Yes, yes.
What better way is it if you come up with your own idea and design and you make it yourself? So I'm going to show you two different ways that you'd be able to come up with a very creative and really nice way. As you can see,
What about, do you like, I like this. You see, promise,
Yes.
this is very nice.
brown leather, that's
Yes,
nice.
I can make one of this.
Yes, but this is the one I have on the
Yeah.
screen. It's like paint, and as you can see, it's really interesting. So this is how you get started, and the things you need, the materials
The
especially.
materials.
You need hard paper, and you need watercolor palettes, the phone, of course, and a clear case. Now, the first thing is you get the paper out and you cut it exactly to the size of your phone. So you put your phone, your iPod here, and you cut it down in order to have the exact same shape of it and the measurements done. And after that, you'd be able to start your painting. So all you have to do is select the colors that you need. And after that, you need a small palette with water in order to mix it around. And all you have to do is, as you can see here, is dab gently with the brush itself, the paint brush, and in this exact certain manner. So you have to have a plop at the very top, and then you just make it drip down as though it's dripping down like the cover we saw. And then you go over it by several quotes so it would look nicer and more powerful, so it would flow perfectly. After doing this, you'd repeat it with all the different colors in order to have that colorful image of what you have, like the cover itself. And then you'd be able to add all the different colors as we are seeing right now. And as you go down, you have different lengths and measurements. And now, so you put the clear case back and you put it inside, and you make sure that it fits in perfectly, because if it doesn't, then you need to cut out a few of the edges to make sure that everything is perfect. And then you need to use a pencil to draw out the holes that you have in order for you to cut it on later on. So as you can see here, this is the pencil. Draw exactly what you need to cut, and then afterwards you'd be able to have it here, as you can see, and you'd be able to get your either knife or blade, and you'd be able to get it ready and make sure that you have all the different circles done in this manner, so you'd be able to see how it's done exactly. And after that, after it's done perfectly, you'd fit it in to your clear phone case, and that's it. Ta-da, you've got it done. And it
Lovely,
looks
it's
really
so
nice.
lovely, yes.
Yes, the finished product. And I have another one as well that I'd like to show you. It's a watermelon. And as you can see here, this is how you start off with it and how it looks like. So you'd be able to make your own watermelon case. All you need is the phone case itself, even nail polish, and the different colors that you need obviously are red, green, and white. And you need sponges and the paintbrush. So you'd start off with the red, and you'd paint most of it in red. And as you can see, you go on several quotes, and you'd use your sponge in order to make it look blurred in, as though it's just dabbed onto it to the next layer that you'll get. And after that, you put on the same thing with the white and green in order to have that watermelon effect. And over here with your paintbrush, you simply add black, but in a very way as though it's like raindrops. And after that, you'd add more to the green, make it darker. And here we're adding like another case on top of it, like coating it more, so it would make it thick and it wouldn't get ruined easily. And this is used by the glue itself or the actual. So over here you'd see the watermelon case done completely.
So nice.
So there you go. There are like two different ways you could come up with your own phone case, and you could get creative and add more things, change the colors, even the sizes, and even stick things onto it and make them customized to your own preference.
Well, that's very nice. I like the figs. Can we make one colorful?
Yes,
Yes.
we'll change the leather one that you have for next time.
Yes, I like this one. But anyway, I like this one. Well, I think the strawberry one is always the color of the strawberry. Anyway, thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Farah. Let us move now to another part of the show. That is the health and wellness. Please stay tuned after the break with the big smile and the positive energy. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again. Let us go straight now to Dr. Amna to tell us all about the health and wellness. The floor is yours, Dr. Amna.
Thank you. Tonight I would like to focus on an important topic that we are facing a long time, and actually in the start of my career in medical field, my first patient was to be seen in the emergency room was coming with severe generalized abdomen pain and leg pain and overall body pain. So when going through the history of such patient, the patient informed that this is not my first time to be seen. Why are you surprised? I'm always coming to the hospital with severe generalized body ache. When going through his family history, we found out that he is having what is called a sickle cell disease. This disease actually is going through different countries, and specifically in some areas it's more common than the others. For example, in Kuwait, we have 500 cases under the supervision of different hospitals. We are aiming to have one center for supervising of such patient. It is important to focus on such disease because this disease is actually might be some people have misconception about such. So to define such disease, first of all, we have to see that normal blood cells or normal red blood cells are rounded in shape, as you can see here in the figure. But sometimes this red blood cells might be abnormal in shape, will be like what is called as crescent like, or as you can see here, if exposed to stress or low oxygen or dehydration, low fluid intake. So this is what is called as sickle cells. These sickle cells might accumulate in blood vessels in the body and might cause, as a result, accumulation of red blood cells and might lead to severe pain in several areas. For example, the joint, the abdomen. It might obstruct the way through the liver, and it might even lead to stroke in some cases, in severe cases. So this shape is very important to be noticed and investigated, especially in early stages in some patients who are really having a family history of such disease. Some of them might be carrier of such disease. They don't manifest of any manifestation unless getting through exposure to different triggers. Now in this figure, as you can see here, the normal blood vessels, you can see where the normal flow of red blood cells through the vessels, and when it's abnormally like, it can obstruct the blood vessels or the flow of red blood cells. Now in this figure we can see what can the patient manifest of such disease. For example, as you said, back pain, what is commonly joint pain, arm and leg pain, hand swelling, shortness of breath, and sometimes we have yellowish discoloration of the eyes or of the body due to liver obstruction. Now it is very important, as I said, to diagnose the disease as soon as possible in early stages through blood test, what is called as basic blood test, what is called as sickling test, what is called as electrophoresis. All these tests might be strange for some people, but it might be very helpful to diagnose the patient at early stages to get better treatment and careful education and monitoring through life. Now, how can we treat such patient? Many patients come through the emergency room with severe pains. These might need painkillers, hydration, special vitamins such as folic acid, antibiotic if there is a source of infection, and even in some cases they might need blood transfusion due to low blood vessels. Some of them might be having strokes, or the spleen might be affected, or the lung, or even the brain, as I said. So in such disease, each type of episode we have a specific treatment. It is important to vaccinate those patients who are really exposed to severe infection, especially when the spleen is affected, which is the spleen is known as the first defenders for any infection in the body. When the spleen is affected, those patients might need frequent vaccination, especially occasional time. What is really important to know that definite treatment might be what's called, as we said before, bone marrow transplantation. The bone marrow is the manufacturer for all the blood cells in the body. So a transplantation of such bone marrow, when we find an identical normal donor who can provide this patient with bone marrow, it might be helpful for such patient, and it might need also follow-up. What is very important to know that even medical side, we always say that prevention is better than cure. So parent counseling, screening of parent before marriage, even to tell them that you are a carrier of such disease or you are affected, and the percentage of having children with such disease and how to take care of such disease is very important. And we have really a good programs in such that is approved by the Ministry of Health in our country, in our region. So parents are really educated nowadays more than before to know how to deal with such patients, and they have the choice either to get married or even to be divorced or stay with having such children. So our awareness of such sickle cell disease is very important, and it's really important to focus on such disease and how to care for such patients even in daily lifestyle, even in schools, and even in some occasions such as exercising and stress.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amna, for those advices and good awareness program. Let us move now to another part of the show. Please stay tuned after the break with a big smile and the positive energy. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the Web Collection Show. to the interview part of the show, and we are happy tonight to have our guest here in the studio, Dr. Khalid Calendar. Dr. Khalid Calendar, you are most welcome here tonight.
Thank you very much.
And we hope we can get good information from you. But can you first give us your title, where you work?
I'm a pediatrician. I work currently in Farwani Hospital as a general pediatrician, as well as part of the suspected child abuse and neglect team.
Since you are on this team, Dr. Khalid, we would like to talk about the child abuse definition, please. Types.
Sure, let's start with the definition of child abuse. There are many definitions in the literature that addresses child abuse and maltreatment, but the one that I prefer most is the one proposed by the World Health Organization, which states that child abuse is any form of physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, or exploitation, whether it's actually happened or potential, so that poses potential risk on the child's health, dignity, and well-being.
So even the potential happening of this, if it doesn't, it's considered to be as a child abuse.
Exactly. So even putting a child in a situation where there is potential harm, it definitely counts as child abuse. And I like this definition because it actually illustrates the different types of child abuse, which are physical, sexual,
Mental.
neglect, and emotional.
And why is it important that we should focus and study on this?
So whenever we think about any problem in general, we basically look at two main factors. One is this a common problem, and two, what's the effect of this problem, what's the consequences of this problem. And when we look at child abuse, and starting with how prevalent it is, local studies as well as regional studies have shown that children under the age of 18 get abused all the time. However, for a proportion of them, about 1 in 5 children will get abused repeatedly. So as shown in my slide here. So 1 in 5 children get abused repeatedly, and of those 20% have severe forms of repetitive child abuse before their 18th birthday.
So that it is general abuse?
I'm talking about all types of abuse. Exactly. The most prevalent type of abuse is neglect as well as physical abuse. However, and we are seeing only the sort of ice tip or the tip of the iceberg. There are many hidden cases. So is it prevalent? Yes. Does it exist? Yes. And these are from local studies done in Kuwait. And but let's look at the consequences of child abuse. Some people argue that what if I hit my child, what's going to happen? Several studies that have been done, also regional and internationally, have shown that hitting your child repeatedly, abusing a child, will have serious consequences.
Serious consequences physically and mentally?
Both.
So
some of the cases that I have seen, I've seen broken ribs, broken bones here in Kuwait. I'm not talking about anywhere else.
How young are those children?
Usually children, most of the children are under the age of 5. And however, some of the cases unfortunately get missed. I'm going to talk later on about different types of child abuse in depth, but child abuse can actually sometimes can lead into severe mental disabilities as well as physical disabilities. On top of that, it is well known that children who get abused repeatedly suffer from many mental problems, including depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety disorders, conduct disorders, and they might grow up into being abusers themselves.
Oh.
When we look at the slides, going back to my slide, we can see that adverse childhood experiences can lead to social, emotional, and cognitive impairment. And then such individuals, when they grow up into adults, they will adopt healthy risk behavior like smoking, drugs, and alcohol, which leads to diseases and disabilities and social problems, plus early death. However, if we move to the next slide, even for individuals that do not adopt risky healthy behavior, like such as smoking, they still die early. They still die of heart disease. They still are at increased risk of diabetes, depression, asthma, so many other diseases, even if they don't smoke or drink alcohol. And there are several theories that explain that. These theories and these studies have shown that children who get abused repeatedly, they have altered brain anatomy. So their actual brain changes, their hormones changes. Imagine yourself in a stressful situation, a car accident. How would you feel? You'd feel palpitation, you'll feel sweaty, you'll feel very anxious.
Yes, unstable.
This is the effect of your adrenaline shooting up. This is the effect of the cortisol that gets produced naturally in response to these stressful situations. Imagine a child getting hit every day all the time. He'll have this feeling all the time. And these hormones, unfortunately, have bad effects when they're at high level all the time.
Dr. Khalid, one question. Can we consider the shouting, repeated shouting on the child to be one form of child abuse? Because some people would like say, I just want to teach them or to frighten them, to make them study.
Or it was the way they were taught by their parents, and then they just feel that that's the normal way to go.
Is this considered something serious?
It depends. Overall, I say yes. It is
Even
something.
the child,
yes.
the way of the
Exactly.
the response of the child.
So it depends on the response of the child. Depends on the way that the parent convey. Shouting at the child all the time. We know from several psychological and psychosocial studies that it has bad consequences on the child, and actually it's against the sort of the perfect parenting or positive parenting, ethical parenting code. It actually it gives the opposite results that the parents usually want, and with time, shouting would not work. And children usually take the experience that they learn from their parents, and then sort of act on it later on. Usually the aggressive children that we see, the aggressive children that we see in the streets or in the schools, are being abused at home, or have learned or have experienced some sort of abuse and violence at home or elsewhere, and then they sort of practice this abuse on others.
And what can we do to protect those children? Are there any laws, legislations that could be followed?
So this is a very good question, and I am very proud that on May of 2015, the Child Protection Law was passed through the Parliament, and it has more than 9 chapters. In each chapter, a total of 97 acts, sort of describing in details the right of children and what to do in such a situation, and also governed and sort of gave us support as as a SCAN or suspected child abuse and neglect teams. My role in a team is when a child gets referred to me is to assess whether his injuries are real or not, and could these injuries be explained with something, because some people might have bleeding disorder, some problems with their clotting, and they might have some bruising, and somebody might mistaken them for child abuse or being hit. So my role as a doctor, a pediatrician, working with the team, is to exclude other causes and to investigate with that. Also on my team, we have a psychologist, a social worker, as well as the law enforcement, which was regulated by this law, to support us and act on the best interest of the child, to protect them and to ensure their safety.
So is it obligatory for everybody to report if there is?
So at the moment, if you are working with children, so if you are a teacher, if you are a police officer, if you are babysitter, definitely a doctor or nurse, anybody who's working with children is obliged by law to report such cases to the SCAN teams. We have 8 or 9 now SCAN teams to cover the all hospitals, all health areas, and we do collaborate with the primary care, and we also have a hotline for each governorate, as well as a general hotline for children. Anybody can call and report. It's 147, very easy to remember. 147.
This is for the child protection.
This is child protection. If you see
hotline, 147
hotline,
is the child protection.
It's the child protection hotline. At the moment, it's available until 11 in the evening. However, there are plans to extend it to cover 24 hours. If it's past 11 in the evening, you can just send, or you can just talk to any family doctor or emergency physician, and they can contact us.
Yes, I have a question. Dr. Khalid, do you think that we're lacking positive parenting here in the region?
That's a very good question. So when people get children, they don't get any teaching on how to deal with children.
Exactly.
When you want
by
to
learning how to bring them up.
So when you want to drive a car, you go through teaching,
some lessons,
schools, some lessons, and then you go to set an exam. But having a kid and raising a kid doesn't have any requirements. And in the past, we used to have the support of our grandparents to help us out, to guide us through some parenting skills. This has been changing. The families are getting smaller and away from the parents.
The technology also
affects that. We definitely lack parent skills. We definitely lack the positive parenting.
So what advice would you give them?
So family doctors, primary care providers are excellent resources of parenting. Talk to your family doctor. There are many non-governmental organizations that provide also advice. مكتب الإنماء الاجتماعي or the social office for advancement is an excellent resource as well. So if you're a parent and you're struggling with your child, talk to your pediatrician, talk to the family doctor, or seek governmental and non-governmental organization. There are plenty of resources. Go online, go to a website that is well recognized by pediatricians, for example, or for people working with children, and learn something. And always, if you're tired and you want to, if you're tired of your child, just don't push it. Just take a few minutes away and seek help.
I think this children. Yes, please carry on.
I was gonna
talk about I would like to ask about the conference which was held this week, the 4th regional. Unless there is something you want to add before.
I want to add something that
go ahead, please.
Just a few slides about some of the cases.
Please, let's show us.
So
this is the child?
This is a child. This is the back of the child. So this is the right side of the back of the child, and he presented to the emergency department.
This is here.
The scars are very strong.
So these are very strong marks, as you can see. So I want to talk briefly about these sort of signs and symptoms and red flags of child abuse.
Okay.
This child actually was seen by his teacher during gym class, and then who reported this child to
otherwise they wouldn't have noticed.
Otherwise, yeah. So as you can, as you saw previously, there are pattern marks. So if you see anything patterned, usually children don't fall into objects. Children who have bruises and they're not supposed to, so because of their developmental age. So a 5-month-old should not have a bruise on forehead. I'm just gonna show. However, going back to the slides, children fall and bruise themselves all the time. It's part of their development. There are some sites that are natural for bruising and lacerations as well, including the elbows or any area that overlie bony prominence. However, if you see bruises and non-typical. The ears are protected between the head and the shoulder, so any bruise around the ear or around the neck or around in the trunk against fatty tissue should raise suspicion. And
Let us see more, doctor. I would like to see this. You showed us before we were on air. There was one a little bit
so
Yes, this one.
scary.
yeah,
Look at this.
so this child is actually was during my training. However, I've seen similar cases here in Kuwait. I've seen a
like
child
this
who
at this age.
at this age who actually unfortunately died because of brain bleed. One important point I want to mention is something called shaken baby syndrome or non-accidental or trauma or abusive head trauma. We say never to shake a child. Why? Imagine shaking a child who a baby who has a very flexed neck, cannot support really his head, and his brain is actually like a jelly or like a sponge. With the shaking, it actually will shake inside the skull. There are tiny vessels that connect the brain to the vessel to the skull from the inside. They will break down and cause a bleed. As well, there will be bruising from the brain bouncing inside the brain, inside the skull. We see at least one case a month. And these children, they suffer a lot. They have very bad prognosis. 1/3 of them will die, and we have seen death recently.
Let us go more, doctor.
This is very sad. news.
Very sad. Yes, if we can see this also.
So we say always never shake a baby.
Okay,
Yes.
let us see more. doctor.
I think this is the last slide I have.
Last
However, and even 1/3 of them who survive will have severe disabilities, including blindness and deafness.
One final question before we go to the conference.
Yes.
What about the disabled children? I heard the story that they have died some because of these abuses,
Of
because
course.
they have happened to them.
So in the literature, there has been many risk factors attributed that will put a child more versus other children, and one of these situations is children with disabilities, because maybe they are demanding to the parents, and they put sometimes parents under stress because maybe they are non-verbal, they get abused much more than others.
Dr. Khalid, I would like to perhaps invite you again because we are short of time to talk about the conference and the speakers because we are running out of time. I would like to express my thanks, Dr. Khalid, for being with us tonight. It has been very interesting, very informative, and I'm sure you have a lot of information. We hope the next meeting or interview will be having more of these cases and tell us more about it. So you are telling that there is a hotline,
Yes.
147,
147, yeah.
for people to report if there is any abuse, child abuse
Of
in
course.
Kuwait here. And this is a public number, and for everybody, the privacy of the caller, of course, will
Yes,
be protected.
definitely.
And I think this is very good. Anyway, thank you very much again, Dr. Khalid.
Well,
Anything you want to add in the end?
I would just like to thank you again and thank KTV2 for hosting me and giving me the opportunity to convey my message, and also to give me the opportunity to advocate for children, which is and to advocate for protecting our children, which is a huge and very important issue.
You have very important role, and thank you very much. You did very well, Dr. Khalid, in informing us about what to do with these good parenting. I think this is a very important message for tonight. Our dear viewers, let us move to another part of the show. Please stay tuned after the break with a big smile and a positive energy. Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome again to the last segment of the show. That is the mobile for tonight. Let us go straight to what I have on my monitor. This is the mobile. We have prepared some top apps for the elderly. This is medical and mobility applications. This is very important to touch about. This is the clock face test. This is for the iPhone and iPad, and this is a free. This is for the cognitive test to evaluate for dementia. This is users are asked to drag numbers to the appropriate place on the clock, and the app assess their performance. Ho, ho, ho. This is very important. The communication tool. This is also very important. This application has over 500 pictures, plus you can download your own personal ones to help someone with the disease to communicate more easily, as well as allowing for exercises, memory prompts, and other mental exercises. This application you can see here, this apps to signal for help if your parent falls, or fall detector. This Spantic fall detector is a specialized application to alert for falls and extended periods of inactivity. Good for peace of mind. You can see this. This is very nice one. Dealing with depression, well, this is called geriatric depression scale. This asks the recipients 15 questions and give an analysis of their possible depression from the results. Well, this is something. Blood pressure, everybody knows. I think the pill reminder also, this is one that some people don't stick to their pills. You tell me? Oh, I tell you, well, some people don't stick to their pills, periods and times and schedules. I'm telling myself before you. Well, we need to remind ourselves sometimes. I need this application perhaps. The mobility assessment. This tool series is for tests allowing the users to assess their own perceptions of how mobile they really are. How mobile they are? Well, this is a question. Pocket Physio. This is Care UK's Pocket Physio app is an easy to use guide to physiotherapy exercises you will need to do to prepare for and recover from hip or knee replacement surgery, or as well as foot and hand surgery, everything, even physiotherapy tips and the tricks, you can have it on those mobiles. I think this is really interesting things to have nowadays to support, and I think Dr. Amna can also give her view. Do you think, Dr. Amna, those are really usable for the
Yes, of
pills
course.
and this?
Yes. We have a lot of, by the way, a lot of ways to remind our patient for getting their medication. There are specific tables, for example, or tablets like containers that provide us with specific days. For example, I have a big tablet container, which each one written on it is Sunday, Monday, all
I
day
see.
week, like days of the week.
Well, this is the manual way,
Yes.
but these are
The application ways, of course, we have a lot of them, but we have to be to provide the caregivers and educate them how to use it before to give it to our patient, so that they can be helpful in each time of getting the treatment.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amna. By this, we have come to the end of the show. We hope we have given you some more information, useful information, and some good smiles, tips, and tricks, our dear viewers. Until we see you next week, I would like to thank my colleague here in the studio, Engineer Farah. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank also Dr. Amna Al-Kut for the information she has given
It's my
us.
pleasure.
And I would like to thank everybody here in the studio and, of course, in the control room. Until we see you next week, take care, good night, and bye-bye.